Hey guys, Pete Koch here with friend, director, producer, filmmaker, Stephen Barber, and we're going to discuss some things in your projects.
Sure, absolutely.
It's Pete Koch breaking it down. Don't go away. Hey guys, Pete Koch here, breaking it down with my buddy Stephen Barber. He's a filmmaker, director, producer. He's constantly working. He's got some projects he's going to discuss with us. First of all, let's let the audience get familiar with you, a little bit about yourself. Tell us, you're originally from?
From upstate New York, Catskills, but I got here in 1984.
84.
Long time.
And was that specifically to get into the film business?
You know, it's odd. I went to Western Kentucky University, Bowling Green, Kentucky, and 4.5 years in Kentucky. I had to get out. And everybody would tell me, "Hey, you look like an actor, man. You look like an actor."
Sure, see it.
I never had any interest in it, but I said, okay, well, I'll come out to LA. I had a buddy that actually lived about 10 blocks from here, over on Berkeley.
Okay.
So I stayed with him, and I got out here, and I was, I'm sure you saw my acting career. It went from 86 to 85. I went backwards. So, yeah, it wasn't for me. I did a little bit. I did some soap opera stuff, some five and unders, but I never liked it, so I never really got involved.
But Stephen, for those, and I've got lots of folks out there that watch the show that are interested in pursuing the acting business or maybe coming here from some other place, but that is really, truly not uncommon to the magnet that brought you to Hollywood was to be an actor, get in front of the camera, but anybody who's paying attention at all, any actor who's paying attention can realize that for every job that there is in front of the camera, there's 100 jobs behind the camera, and you can have at least as much fun, right?
And nobody tells you that. It's kind of learn as you go. I had no idea, because your ego really won't allow you to even think about that until you get on a set. And when I got on my first set, and I remember watching the guy that was giving all the orders, I said, that's the job, so that's what I ended up being. I'm an accidental filmmaker. I never thought about making a movie. It never occurred to me, but through a set of serendipitous events, I became a filmmaker.
And let's dig into that, right? So you are a filmmaker now, and so much of the success that we can garner in life is by the associations, by the people that we can attract. And you've done an amazing job. Some of the people, tell folks who you're working with now and what's on the hopper.
Well, right now I got a brand new film with Josh Brolin called Never Surrender. In fact, we have a huge, our second premiere. We've already premiered it once at the Simon Wiesenthal. And Ronald Reagan Library heard about it. The curator called us up. They're paying for everything, which is amazing, because the first premiere cost me about 20 grand. This one's not costing me a thing.
And by the way, I've been to the Ronald Reagan Library. It's up in the northern section of Los Angeles and Thousand Oaks. It's one of the most astounding and remarkable, impressive museums that you might ever see in your lifetime. So I highly recommend anybody get a chance, check that out.
Yeah, so that's going to be on the 8th of May, and then we got a short documentary. My producing partner, Tamara Henry, who's right around the corner here, and Matthew Housley, our director. We've got a film at the GI Film Festival about great American, Jan Scruggs. He conceived and built the Vietnam Memorial Wall.
Oh, outstanding.
I mean, he has given more comfort to millions of, we lost 58,000 kids, and I mean kids, in that war. So he's an amazing guy. And
Stephen, I recall seeing some time ago a documentary about the woman, I think that was the architect?
Maya Lin, won the Oscar. Yeah, a gal named Frida Mock made it years ago, about 20 years ago. But, as great a documentary as that was, not that mine's greater, but this is the guy. The thing about Jan does, unlike myself, I'm a showman, you got to go to my website, vanillafire.com, and, I'm always self-promoting because I have to.
Sure.
I'm the producer, I'm the director, I'm the writer, I'm the craft services guy. This guy's behind the scenes, real quiet, doesn't want any sort of, he's a great American. He's just a really great guy. And that's kind of been my gift, is that I've been able to find really outstanding Americans to be able to tell their story. And that has become my gift. So I'm really fortunate.
You have a particular interest in the brave men and women that serve our country in terms of the military and armed services. And where does that come from?
I didn't. What happened was I met Eddie Albert. Now, some of your viewers may not remember Eddie Albert, but I know you do. Eddie Albert
Green Acres.
He was in a TV show, Green Acres, but before, he was up for Oscar for a movie called Attack. He was a real war hero. He was in the Battle of Tarawa. The day in 1943 he took the first full frontal Marine amphibious attack. It was a mess. We lost 1,200 U.S. Marines the first 2 days. And they didn't, it was called issue in doubt. They didn't think they were going to be able to take the island against these Japanese. It was a real slaughterhouse. Eddie was out in the bay pulling Marines out because they were sinking to the bottom with their packs. So he had won the Silver Star 40 years later because of anti-Semitism. His commanding officer didn't want to give him the Silver Star because he thought he was a Jew. And he was actually German. His last name was Eddie Heimbliger. He was from Minnesota. He was just this, but through this anti-Semitism, blah, 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 40 years later, they realized that he really deserved, so there was a huge ceremony for him where they gave him the Silver Star.
Incredible. So, I mean,
Bike ride. I met him on a bike ride.
When I was a kid, I'd watch Green Acres like all the kids of my generation, but he was older by then. So that I imagine in his filmography, that was sort of the icing on the cake. But he was a great actor before that, and now you're telling us what a war hero.
Well, I mean, he was mind-boggling. But the funny thing that people don't know is the only reason he did Green Acres, because he really was below his caliber of acting. He started Green Day. He started Earth Day. And the only reason he would do it, he's like every episode had to have some sort of message about Earth. And you'd see it. You go back and watch it now, and he'd say, "Mr. Haney, you need to compost your soiled goods there." And you'd say, "Oh my God!" So every single episode has some sort of message about. He was way ahead of the curve when it came to nobody knows that, and I learned that later on as well. Yeah.
Who knew? And so I was just a kid, like the whole generation of kids that grew up in the '60s watching Green Acres, and we were getting these great messages along the way due to the fact that an actor, Eddie Albert, cared enough to incorporate them into the script. Love it. I want to talk about Never Surrender, the story of Ed Ramsey. Mm-hmm. And this is a documentary that I've seen myself. This is your latest work, I believe, and it's extremely powerful. Tell us a little bit about Ed Ramsey.
Well, Ed, it's funny. I was in the Philippines 3 years ago. In fact, this is our brand new compilation. It's called The Military Six Pack. A little shameless plugging right here. All 6 of the movies are here. You can go to militarysixpack.com if you'd like to get these. But one of them is the Ed Ramsey story. When I was in the Philippines with Matthew Housley, one of my producing partners and director, we were filming a movie about a 97-year-old veteran. That's my dog, Jimmy Choo. And when I was out there, this 95-year-old guy came up to me, and he whacks me. He goes, "Hey!" I'm like, "Yeah?" He goes, "You ever heard of Ed Ramsey?" And I said, "No." He goes, "Well, MacArthur was he used the F-bomb, right? He goes, "This guy Ramsey was the guy. He's the reason. He saved the Philippines." I'm like, "Okay." So I get back to LA, completely forgot about it. Just forgot about it. I'm driving around the corner, and I hear the Dave Ramsey show. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's a financial show. And it just tipped me. I went, "Ramsey. Oh, yeah." So I Googled this guy. There's a website. His wife lives 2 miles from here.
Wow.
Couldn't believe it.
Here in Santa Monica.
Right, Santa Monica. I call her up. I said, "Hey, my name's Steve Barber. I'm an award-winning filmmaker, blah, blah, blah." And she goes, "I know who you are." I'm like, "You know who I am?" She goes, "Yeah, we have mutual friends because you did the movie Return to the Philippines." She's Filipino.
Got it.
So we meet. Within about a year, we find the money, a couple $100,000. We make the movie. The rest is history. I'm trying to sell it right now. I've sold all my other films to Netflix. I have not sold this film yet. I'm hopeful. I'm talking to HBO. I'm talking to a couple other powerhouses, but it doesn't matter. The movie got made, and it's good.
Well, let's do this. Where's the place that folks can go that are interested in the films that you make, documentaries, Ed Ramsey, or anything, the number of films having to do, particularly with World War II?
Pretty easy. VanillaFire.com has all the information you ever wanted to even think about, and then some. Our brand new compilation, Military Six Pack, with all 6 of our movies. You go to militarysixpack.com. We're selling these. We're not making lots of dough, folks. It's never been about the money for me. I've been able to raise a couple $1 million. I'm not unopposed to making money. If there's some big director, producer out there that wants to hire me, I'm in. But that's not why I do this. I do it because I've been really fortunate, and it's been the path that I've seeked the least resistance.
But you're doing something special, Stephen, undeniably. Why do I say that? Because people, immensely talented and very busy people like Josh Brolin are aligning themselves with you.
Absolutely.
And Kelsey Grammar, can you tell us about your relationship with him?
Kelsey, before we just do that, I just want to show your viewers a picture. This is a picture of a woman. It's my favorite picture I've ever taken in my life. This is a woman named Donna. Her father went to Vietnam, was shot and killed. Took 55 years to find him. This is her first time meeting him.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, if you can imagine. I took this on the tarmac in Atlanta at 5 o'clock in the morning. And it's just, when I saw this picture, I was like, this is my favorite picture. I mean, this really sums it up. What people don't know, there's 88,000 missing from World War II. 88,000 that never came home. So I've partnered with Kelsey Grammar, who narrated a film called Until They Are Home for me about 4 years ago. We want to go out and look for our fallen. We know where there are hundreds and thousands of sets of remains. It's an expensive process to bring these men home. And these were men. And they all had families. And they all had brothers and cousins and sisters and uncles. So you can imagine exponentially millions and millions of people are still waiting for their loved ones to come home. So it's a very noble show. We've been pitching it all around town. I've got, the most prolific and successful television actor in the history of the medium, Kelsey Grammar, on board in name and with his company GramNet. And we still haven't sold it, but like I said, I'm hopeful, man. I got a lot of faith.
My father fought in World War II. He's died many years ago, but he that generation it's dwindling. There's very few.
1,000 a day are dying.
1,000 a day are dying, and it won't go on much longer. So I think the timing of what you're trying to do and honor our fallen heroes is so commendable. I really appreciate all that work.
It's my pleasure.
You're doing.
It's my honor.
And I know that there's people out there that watch the show that would be interested in knowing more about that or what you do. So let's direct them to
vanillafire.com. I'm easy to find. And like I said, if I'm more interested, it's not about money for me. If you got a story, if there's a story out there that you think needs to be told and it's about a great American, get hold of me. I'd love to hear it.
I had my little tiny association with the military troops playing Swede in Clint Eastwood's Heartbreak Ridge, and that's been a beautiful way for me to kind of connect with that community. So I'm very proud to be involved in that way. And
I want to give this man kudos. I saw him. I've always had a man. I've kind of got a bromance with you going. I've got a little man crush going with the Swede here. We all do. But I saw him. I do a lot of work with the Wounded Warriors and the disabled community, especially U.S. Paralympics. And I saw him a year ago playing basketball with Adam Sandler in a wheelchair. And I'm like, that's the Swede. And I was really blown away because for anyone to participate with the disabled, it tells you the kind of person that they are. So this is a good man right here. Good man.
I appreciate that.
Got it, brother.
So if you like this interview, go ahead and hit the like button, share it with your friend. We'll appreciate your comments on social media. Go ahead and share it with your folks and people that are associated with the military who might really care. And
and we do want to introduce the world to, this is Jimmy Chew. That's CHEW, because he'll chew your hand off. And he actually scared the crap out of the Swedes' dogs. The dogs are in the other room. And he's got an IMDb page. So anyway.
Well, Stephen Barber, I appreciate
Pleasure,
your time.
Good stuff.
It's Pete Koch breaking it down. We'll see you next time.
Semper Fi.